What's up, guys? Here to give my last thoughts on Death Must Die. You can see I've done a lot of the achievements. Some of them I've maxed out. I think this one is going to be just absolutely ridiculous, so I'm not even going to waste my time doing that. An entire run without taking damage is just absurd. I can't be bothered. And then some of these are just like super specific scenarios. Like, okay, you have to get 4 dashes. That means you have to have the 2 shrines spawn close enough to each other to be able to activate it. So yeah, whatever about that. This one is just you have to scale fast enough, so I just haven't done that one yet. Yeah, this one is just another super long time. You just have to keep doing it again and again. And then this one is just pure RNG of whether or not you can get enough auto casts in time. So we're just going to go with Scatty. We're going to do a run here. We are at maxed everything, so we're just going to choose the highest difficulty while we talk about kind of things I like and things that I don't like about the game. So first things first, I don't like that the game is, I feel like it's trying to do too much. It's trying to put Hades and Halls of Torment together. Oh yeah, also we have a dragon because we have a mythic equipment. We played this game a crazy amount. So I feel like I have a really good kind of perception on what the game is about. And there's like a lot of complaints that I have. For example, right now, this is the worst thing that can happen to you. I'm lucky because I don't have to take this, right? I can use alteration. But the problem that comes up is that if you don't have alteration, then you're basically just at the mercy of the first couple rolls that you get, which I don't think should ever be the case in a game like this. Compared to like Halls of Torment, for example, right? Halls of Torment, you know exactly what you're doing. It's very clear what you're doing. But what happens here is that like you get locked out of choices, and there's no way for you to know exactly which one is going to lock you out of the choice, right? So I think the first thing they can do is add clarity to the game and what you're choosing. So for example, something like Hades, you have your slots, and you know if you take something in that slot, you have to replace it if you get something new, right? Whereas this game, look what we have here, right? So right now it just shows me 4 things going down. I have no idea which one of those locks me into only being able to roll the certain amount of a class's things. So for example, if I take something from a character that I don't want, then I am more than likely, so like right now, I really don't want this. We're going to do alteration for this one. I especially don't want ice. We'll do alteration for that. Okay, so like I just took one from time for more experience. I don't know for sure. We're going to find out. You know, I've played this game a crazy amount. I still don't know for sure. We're going to find out, but like which one is the one that locks you into that, and you can only start rolling those couple gods affixes, because you'll find it happens really quickly, like incredibly quickly in this. And I just don't think that should happen. Like, it just feels so bad to play like that. Like, just really bad. And that's kind of my big first complaint. The second complaint I have is that I wish games wouldn't go into early access this early, if that makes sense. The problem that I have now is that this game already has a bad taste in my mouth because there's only one act, right? And not only is there only one act, to the first point that I've been talking about with like the story and kind of how it's trying to be Hades plus, you know, Vampire Survivors, it fails at that because there's no reason for you to care about anything. You have no connection to anything and care whatsoever. It's clear that it's just okay, that was pretty good. I guess we'll just take fortune. It's clear that it was literally just done to appeal to a broader audience. You have no idea what the story is. The characters are like laughably ridiculous in like things that they say, right? Like it's not even close. Okay, we'll spawn phantoms. And so like it loses the reason why Hades was good. Hades wasn't good just because it has gods that talk. Hades was good because the gods said things relevant to the story and you had interactions with them. You have no interactions with these gods whatsoever, and yet they keep talking as if like there's some, you know, like they're using the same story beat from Hades without the purpose of the story beat from Hades. There's no reason for you to care. You have many different characters, which again I think is great. I think lots of games should have different characters with like their own unique thing. That's good, especially in this genre. I think it's really good for just everyone if there's more characters, more uniqueness, right? So like this character's unique thing is that it's a little bit slower and it's like a, you know, a wider arc or whatever. There we go. Nice. We got the crit. But yeah, there's no point for me to care about the story. Nothing I've done in this game, even, you know, I went through collecting, I don't know if I showed it in the beginning, I can't remember. I went through collecting all of the lore books, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Once we get these lore books, we'll unlock like a special boss fight, or we'll have like some extra thing happen, or there'll be some reward, or literally anything. And the only thing that happens is like telling you meaningless jargon that you have no connection to, because again, you have no interaction with the world whatsoever. There's nothing you do in this game that affects anything in your next run, right? Like, you're not saving anyone, you're not unlocking new things within the run. It's just kind of silly to me, right? So you can see, I think we might already be locked in terms of like what we can roll, or we're just getting really crazy RNG. Both are possible. But the items, right, is also kind of super troll, because like I mentioned before, you want to have altercation or else you'll just be stuck in like a really bad build for no reason. And there's no like you can try again later system. So it's like if you get a bad build from the rip, you're stuck with the bad build. You can never exchange items, you can never change items, right? So I don't think that should be like in a game like this. It doesn't really make sense that you wouldn't be able to get like a replacement. And I'm fine with the replacement. Here, my suggestion is the replacement should have like a penalty of like, okay, you used X skill and leveled it up like 3 times, but what if you didn't want that skill? Well, now you can transfer, but it's going to be a level 1 skill instead of a level 3 skill, for example. That would make the game infinitely better, in my opinion, right? Is that I understand what they're doing because they want you to be able to level up your skills, so they have like some weights to it. And I think weighting it is fine. The problem is when you can't get anything else. It's not a weight system. It's a you're locked, you're done kind of system. I just really dislike that. And it's come up in like a lot of runs. Like I said, I played an incredibly amount like of runs just trying to get all the achievements and stuff. And you might say, oh, you played the game for a long time. That means you really liked it, so the game's fine or whatever. The bigger problem that I have with it is just that there's, there's, again, the thing that it's going for, it's not succeeding in, and because it's not succeeding in it, everything else just seems more annoying, right? What's the point of having me, like, what? It's like if you're going to do the story part, then you have to have a story that's being backed up, right? But so far, nothing is being backed up in the story, And I don't think it needs to have one. Like, you would enjoy this game regardless. It doesn't have to have a story to be a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, you make these kinds of games because everybody just wants to kill hordes of monsters. That's the whole point, right? So I feel like because they tried to make it more broad and like go for this kind of story element, it feels cheap because it's obviously just taking Hades' idea down to the fact that it's still the god of death, right? And it's doing the exact same system. And it's like, okay, you can call that, call it whatever you want, but more or less it's copy and paste. And then we're getting something that's worse because of it. Maybe later on the game will be way better and all the things like that I'm complaining about will totally be changed. It just feels like the current iteration of the game points to the fact that they're not, they think this is fine, is what I'm getting from them. I don't know if that's the case, I don't know if there's some I saw the roadmap, right? The roadmap doesn't really look too kind of promising in terms of changing the things that I don't like about the game. I think the god powers being able to be combined is great. They definitely should have that. That was a really, a really fun part. I think another part of it is that people have connections to the Greek gods. Whereas obviously they're trying to say, we're not exactly a copy. We're doing our own thing. It's not the Greek gods. It's just this other world. But come on, we all know what's going on, right? Like there's no there's no secret here. It's openly just a copy paste. The other thing that is kind of tilting is that they could have used. I mean, like, look at Halls of Torment, for example. Unless I missed it, like, Halls of Torment didn't need a super huge ramp-up time, right? And this is more or less going for kind of the same retro-styled pixel graphics of Halls of Torment as well. They didn't need a huge ramp-up. They already had a huge amount of content on release, and I think that's why the game was already received so well, because the time it takes for you to get to the point where the game is not interesting is much longer, right? So when I cleared the first time and I was like, okay, now what? And then you realize that's it. Okay, that feels bad. Then you get to, oh, never mind. If you play the game twice, or I can't remember how many times, it's been a while since I played this. If you play it like 3 times, you'll unlock another character. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. What does this character do? And in this game, it just so happens that the other character doesn't do anything except have a different baseline attack. And that's quite literally it, right? And you can't even upgrade the baseline attack. Also, this guy is just... I hate this guy so much. He's so annoying. He just runs away. Okay. The other thing that's kind of annoying is, like, yes, I'm on the highest difficulty right now, but the way that the game is set up is that there's so little healing in the game. It also just feels super cheesy sometimes. Like, you're gonna get some super cheesy things happening where you're just like, really? That's how that's gonna go? Because there's almost no healing. You'll get like so many healing altars in the very beginning of the game when it's like impossible for you to have taken damage, and then you can like be a pansy and stand next to them. Yeah, but like, come on, that's not the gameplay you want. The other thing is like there's no quests. There's nothing for you to do in here. There's no secret for you to get. Okay, to be fair, maybe it's so secret that I've missed it, which is definitely possible. Maybe there's a giga secret that I haven't gotten. We need the dash. So we're gonna re-roll and try to get our dash. When enemy dies, we're luckier. Nope, we need dash. We can't get dash. We're just not gonna get it. We're gonna get the same ones again and again. Okay. So I don't know if that is RNG or if that is actually we've already locked ourselves out from getting, that for some other purpose. I feel like that's just RNG, but yeah, only this character, only the Death's Daughter or whatever has the skill that can heal you. Nothing else in the game heals you except for maybe you find a weapon with like 1 lifesteal or like 5 lifesteal when you level up. Just go for chain. See if we can get the dash. We cannot get the dash. We are getting our skeletons though, so we'll take that. The other thing is you don't always have to have auto attack on. You could turn that off. And like, yeah, see, I would have dodged that if I had auto attack off, but it just becomes so pointless because again, you're not really, there's nothing really that's going to happen, in terms of like, I already know how this run ends and I already know like there's nothing else to do. So you're not even motivated to kind of clear through. And I think another thing is like, the skills feel kind of, what's a good way to put it? I feel like the skills get old very fast because you know that some of them are going to trap you into a crap build that you can't get out of. So like the the Judgment Lady, right, has so many trash skills that if you get unlucky and you don't have altercations, or wait, is it altercation? I can't remember what it's called. But if you can't change it, if you can't reroll, you're just screwed, because now you're going to be stuck getting their skills the entire time, and their skills are so bad it's like laughable. There we go. I'll just take a revival. So that's another thing. It's like, because of the system and the way that it's set up, where I can't get I can't change and exchange my skills. Like, once I've taken a skill in a specific slot, whatever that slot is, I still don't know. It's very unclear which one is the slot locker and which one isn't. Then, you know, what's it going? Like, you're just stuck. You're in a run where there's no point to you continuing the run. Yes, you might clear, but you know that you're so much weaker purely because you couldn't choose. You were just stuck, right? And the majority of the other games don't have that. Like, if I get a certain skill in another game, like, you know, like, oh, I got this attack instead of that attack. Okay, that's fine. Well, now this run, I can level that attack up. And I can get this one that I haven't played as much, you know? The exception for that is like, oh, we're dead. Oh, never mind. We got it. The exception for that is like, ooh, I guess I could take Vortex, but we don't really want to do that. We'll just do Spell. So yeah, it's like the majority of the other games don't have that effect. You are always able to change, or even if you get something, it's not like significantly worse. It's just a different play style. Whereas this game doesn't really have that. Like, if you get stuck and you choose like some, I guess we could do this. This is kind of pointless though, but yeah, you're just not pigeonholed into something that you don't want to play, right? This run is going pretty decently because I had enough rolls, but it's like I don't feel like you should lose the game because you don't have enough rolls. Like, Vampire Survivors, you can load it up and you can just start rocking, right? Like, same thing with Halls of Torment. You can just load in and you just start rocking. You know, same thing with Hades. Like, dude, if I was a god gamer, right, you speedrun Hades. You get beastly, you blast through all the things. Like, okay, you could do it. It's gonna be harder, yeah, but you could do it. This game feels like it gimps you and then punishes you for being gimped in something you had no choice in. You had no agency. You're just gimped, and there it is. And that just feels bad. So that's kind of like what's happened with most of my runs, is like, I know kind of early on, like, okay, this run is good because I got A, B, C. Whereas, like, you know, in other ones, in other games, you could say, well, I want to get this weapon, but if I don't get this weapon, it's not the end of the world. Whereas in this game, frequently, if you get bad rolls multiple times in a row and your slots are taken up by one of the more weaker gods, like, abilities, it feels so bad. It just feels bad. It is bad. There's like nothing positive, right? So like right now I've been holding out. I haven't taken a dash skill this entire time. I'm trying to get the dash skill that heals you. Because there's no other healing in the game. The only healing you're getting is from these drops. And this boss, another thing with this boss is like the way that the bosses are set up kind of feels really bad. Because some of them, especially this guy, right? Like, you can get in his face and he shotguns you for so much. And I feel like frequently the dodge timing is so weird. I know it's get good for that one, but it just feels so bad sometimes. And the tracking also. So like you could dodge and then he will just track you through himself. That happens with a lot of bosses, like where you've dodged an attack and the enemy just straight up turns around and hits you behind you. Stuff like that is pretty troll. But it more or less just comes down to build scaling in that point, though. Because again, yes, we're on the hardest difficulty that it has to offer right now. So like I get it. It's gonna be difficult. It's just frequently what happens in this game is that the difficulty seems to end up out of your control more often than not. and that feels bad. And I don't like that kind of design. I just feel like I'm chill with losses because, okay, I made the wrong choice and I didn't scale well enough, right? But it's frequently the case, and I mean frequently, and you'll find out when you're playing through and you've unlocked all of the gods. You'll find frequently cases where you're just like, oh, I didn't get any skills. Oh, we got corrupt. You could just be like, oh, I only got passives. I didn't have an option to get any skills for this whole time. Well, guess what? Now when the first mobs come up, like the slimes, for example, you don't have any AoE damage. Okay, well, you lose. And you haven't done anything to deserve that loss. It was totally out of your control. You're just going to lose because you have not enough damage to be able to kill them. Like, you don't have enough AoE clear. And it wasn't something you chose. It wasn't something you did. That is really not good, especially for games like this. Because that will make people, I feel, lose kind of heart in this kind of game really fast. When you're first starting to play, you don't know it, right? You're ignorant to how it works. After you've played like a little bit more, you become aware, and then once you're aware, there's no going back. You know, it's Pandora's box situation. Like, once the box is open, you know the other choices. I guess we're just doing level, gain a random blessing. Oh, see, we just happened to dash as enemies came from us off screen. Like, stuff like that is also, it just feels so bad. Like, right now we're getting shot and we can't see where the shot's coming from, right? So he's just homing shotting me right now, and I can't get to him. So I just die. It's just like stuff like that it feels really bad. That one is just like it's so out of your hands. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, yes, enemies have all this stuff. We're on the hardest difficulty, fine. But the way that the difficulty is happening to you just feels shit, right? And that's kind of my biggest complaint with it. Is like, there's no way for you to know in game what's going on here, right? And then there's also no way for you to know, like, which one again. So if I pick this, I pick Sign of the Cosmos. Or no, not Sign of the Cosmos. I picked the Soul Stealer one. Whenever you kill an enemy, we might do blah, blah, blah. How do I know which one has locked me in and which one hasn't? You have no way of knowing, right? And then when you go back to this world, like, there's nothing for you to do, right? So if we look in here, okay, I have these unique random things, right? I have all of these stories. I have the mythic all of these stories, right? Clicking them does nothing. I have the rare one. I guess here we'll do some inventory management. We'll order it from rare to mythic. Let's do that. There we go. But it's just like you don't know, right? Like, there's nothing to go on. Like, okay, this is the whole, oh, I can summon skeletons, blah blah blah. It's, yes, I get it. It's about the first boss, and here's the Baron. Oh, okay, it's about the final boss, right? But like, what happens? Nothing happens. You don't have any dialogue. There's nothing new, right? Nothing happens with that. And then you're just stuck back here in camp doing absolutely nothing again. So then you just walk in here. Okay, let's see. I need gloves. Well, there's no gloves here. Okay, so I just don't get gloves, right? And then you're just checking, like, things like this is like, I don't feel like I'm getting any meta progression if I'm not just getting pure RNG here. And it just seems kind of bad. Like, I want to have meta progression. I want to be in control and, like, making choices. Okay, so these have a chance to apply everything. There we go. There's a unique item, so we'll keep those. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Maybe we keep that. That's a unique. Sorceress only. Maybe we keep that. That's trash. Okay, so we'll just go throw this with the others. And then we see, like, okay, is this worth it? What are we losing? Shard pull and spell damage, but we might get every attack applied. Okay, cool. So we'll take that and we'll sell these. And then what? Right? Like there's literally nothing else. The only thing you can do is complete the challenges. So I've already completed the challenges on this character. And we have a bunch of different things we can do. But it's like, there's nothing else after that. I don't have any story here. If I talk to these people, they just say, like, what is this? I used to paint. I use pencils. Oh, it's better to use pencils. What the fuck is that? Nobody cares, dude. We don't even know because you're just trying to do like a discount shop version, you know? So yeah, that's basically it. It has like the potential to be decent. I just think they need to focus. Like, what if you're gonna do this story, you need to make an actual story. We need to have a story that matters. And then why are only, and again, I believe this is because this is straight copy paste. It's so crazy that only the gods are voice acted, right? The gods that are imitating the Hades gods, because all of them were voice acted, right? Okay. And then when you come back, you're just like, okay, what am I getting? I'm getting weird text box. I can't even talk to them right now. Okay, here we go. Here's another conversation. Why do you want to be a hero? To prove myself. You don't need others to tell you. It's not for others. That's our story, guys. That's it, right? Like, there's no... I don't get anything from it. I don't feel involved in the story whatsoever. There's no, like, even when you clear, and then what happens? Nothing. You just come back, right? So that part feels really bad. I'm not going to play it anymore. This will be the last one. I've already cleared on the hardest difficulty once with the sorceress one time. And I feel like a lot of it is more the RNG of if you have the reroll or you don't. If you don't have the altercation to change to a different god, you're stuck. And many of the times you're stuck with something that's way weaker than the other choice that just is going to end your run. Now, if you're just doing the base difficulty, right? So if you just have like the base difficulty where nothing is, they don't have the movement, the damage, blah, blah, blah. If you're just doing that, then maybe you don't know anything about these. You think these are totally fine. There's no, oh, no, it doesn't matter. You can use any god. Yeah, sure. It doesn't work that way once you get to the difficulty, like, which is the point, right? This is straight up just the heat system. Like, we don't need to pretend like it's something else. It's, again, just copy-pasted from Hades. And the reason why I think they don't get it is because what does the heat system do in Hades? Number one, it extends your gameplay time. But number two, it gives you rewards. You get a reward for clearing that heat for the first time. Do you know what you get in this game? Nothing. You have absolutely no reason to do this. You get nothing. Okay, increased item rarity. Doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter because the majority of your items come from this shop, right? Like, you're just looking for this shop and see which one's pink and then you buy it. That's it. There's nothing more than that. Okay, this is a heavy armor. Let's see. Okay, here's a light armor. Do I want this instead of the one that has something else? Okay, let's see. Here's a heavy armor. What do I have? Shard pull. This gives me alteration. So this is just better. This is just purely better because it has alteration, right? And I feel like it shouldn't be like that. Why is that okay? That alteration is so strong, right? Getting a bad build is so bad. You're just done. And it's not even like, oh, well, if I upgrade these skills, I can be just as strong. It's like you're not even close. You're not even in the same ballpark, right? For the higher difficulty modes. So I don't like that design choice. That's my final thoughts. All in all, I think this game has potential, but we'll have to see what it looks like when it comes out of EA. I'll check out 1.0 in like 2 years or something when it's done, and hope that it's better then. But as it stands currently, guys, for me, the price is fine. The game it's fine, right? It's okay, but I would just rather play Halls of Torment. Halls of Torment has way more depth, way more stuff to do. It's just better. If you want this kind of god gameplay, blah, 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 just play Hades. Hades is still better, right? It's still top dog. It's crazy good. There's more meta progression, right, in a roguelite. So I feel like combining these genres, they haven't really gotten the point of either genre, right? I don't feel fun. I don't feel like, oh, what's this combo, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel any of that when I play this game. It's just like, feels very sloggish. And that, again, that could just be because of the amount of content, but I don't know. You know, you got to make your own decision. For me, I played a decent amount. I've done most of the stuff. Like I said, I've done most of the stuff. I'm never doing that. That's just going to be the most annoying just, you know, cut my own wrist type of stuff that you could ever get to. You know, this one, okay, kill the gargoyles. Okay, well, if I get good RNG and I get a good weapon, then probably I can do that. But this one, oh, I need RNG to get the 2 shrines next to each other to get 4 dashes. Okay, well, I just don't care. You know, this one eventually I'll get, because this one is just, okay, play around, kill the skeleton twice, play around, kill the skeleton twice or 3 times, right? And then you'll get this one. Yeah, I haven't cleared with every character. I've only cleared with, like, I think 3 of them or 2 of them. Because some of them I just feel like they start so slow, and in the harder difficulty, it's just like so ridiculous. If we do the lower difficulty, yes, I can clear, but that's not the point for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have something else to do, and I just don't have that here. There's no quest. There's no, you know, the meta progression is just come back to the shop. He doesn't have anything good. Okay, close the shop. Repeat. Right? There's no refresh in the shop. I can't pay money. Maybe if I could pay money to refresh, then maybe something could be worth it. But as it stands now, it's just like, does he have anything? No. Go again. Does he have anything? No. Go again. Right? And you're picking up like 1 or 2 mythic items that ended up being trash anyways. It's just, I don't know, guys. I see a lot of stuff that it could be. It's just not there. And because it's not there and I want it to be there, I get more frustrated because I am the target demographic for this kind of game. I love roguelites. I played through pretty much every one of the Vampire Survivor games that's come out, you know. But it just doesn't have enough to differentiate it. You know, like when you look at the other games and you have special, like look at Halls of Torment. Halls of Torment has special skills for each character that you can level up. What does this game have? Okay, you get this thing. I get a White Raven, and when I get stat boost, it gives me it gets stronger. That's it. You can't interact with it at all. Everything else is just the same as every other character, except now this character has a slower auto attack. That's it. Why? Right? Like let's look at the damage here. So 38 to 54. 37 to 62, 25 to 48. Yeah, that one's an outlier, right? But like generally the damages are pretty close. The mage has like a weird one because my weapon is it's a blue one and it has like a huge range of damage, whatever, right? But everybody else is pretty much okay. 0.49. Let's look at this character. 0.64. Oh, 0.2 seconds difference in how fast we attack, guys. Nobody cares. That doesn't matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter at all. And it doesn't make you feel good about it. Okay, so let's see. 37 to 53 with Scatty. Okay, let's change characters. Open up our menu. 25 to 48. Okay. So this character attacks marginally faster and probably does the exact same damage. Why do I care? I don't. I literally don't care at all, right? Yeah. Anyways, this one went on a little bit longer than I thought I was going to. I originally planned to just kind of mouth through it, but I guess I was just lost in the sauce of, you know, talking about the stuff inside the run at the same time. So, yeah. Make your own choice, guys. If you want to pick it up, go ahead. It's not a waste of money. You'll get your time out of it for sure. It's just, for me, currently, and in the state that the game is in now, it's super meh. Beyond meh. It's just, okay, you copied someone else's homework, and yes, because they did a good job, your game is okay. That's basically how I feel about it. So, yeah. Catch you guys in the next game. Later.